G'day guys, and welcome back to another episode of On Point Adventures. Today we are back on these, the roof rod holders or ski holders as they're marketed. Now we're going to be going through the 5 reasons I would never ever have these on the roof again. And trust me, you certainly want to hang around for the last 2 reasons, because the last 2 reasons are very significant and will affect every single angler using roof rack rod holders like this one. Now let's just quickly do a bit of housekeeping. We're not sponsored by Rhino Rack or any brand of rod holder, and this is certainly not a reflection wholly on Rhino Rack. However, the reasons we are taking them off is because of these exact rod holders, and we will not be replacing them with others. Let's get into it, because number 1 is the road noise. Now, we've already touched on this in a previous video. You'd remember we went through, we're having difficulties with a lot of road noise coming through, and it was simply unbearable. Now, simply no matter what we have done, be it your recommendations, Rhino Rack's recommendations, or anything on the internet, we haven't been able to solve this. Now, we've used these rod racks here on the roof with rods in them or rods out of them for 70,000 kilometers now. That's right, 70,000 Ks I've had these rod holders on the roof, and I really believe that we've tried absolutely everything to get this road noise out. Now keep in mind, the road noise really does, I guess, become overbearing at about 100 kilometers or more. And simply holding a conversation, as I said, is just too difficult, and the radio has to go right up. So there's number 1. Number 2. Now, number 2 is the fuel economy increase with these. Now, I didn't want to believe it. How could a rod holder seriously make a difference in your fuel economy? Now, when I put them on, my fuel economy did go up per X amount of litres per 100. Now, I'm not talking 5 litres, I'm talking 1 or 2 litres. But over 70,000 Ks, that has been a significant increase in dollars spent. Now, at the moment, diesel's expensive. We need to save those dollars. Now, a lot of you are probably going, oh no, they can't make that much of a difference. 1 or 2 litres is quite a bit. So what I did was I went out on the road. We did a very similar acceleration on the same stretch of road in the same direction for 10 kilometers, and I got my average litres per 100. Now, of course, this is not scientific and there's a lot of variables and blah, blah, blah. But we got a very consistent 2 litres more when we had these on the roof. So they do make a significant difference. And that wasn't even when I had rods. As soon as I put rods in, the wind resistance becomes greater, and we're up at about 3 litres a 100 more. That's a lot. And simply, as I said, with diesel being the price it is and the kilometres we travel, I mean, as I said, we're doing 70,000 Ks roughly per year in this car. That's a lot of money for me to cop on the chin. Now, the third one, line damage. Now, line damage is only going to be relevant to people who rig their rods prior to leaving home and travel to the destination. But how does it damage line? Because the rubber jaws on this are very soft. In fact, they're beautiful. But no, when you're traveling, you'll see along this one here, and I'll do a close-up of the other one, that you get a very large build-up of bugs and road grime on the front of these. Now, what that does is that becomes abrasive. So as your rods are sitting on the roof and they're just slightly shimmering from side to side on your travels, that is wearing away at your braid. Now, as we know, braid doesn't have a great resistance to abrasion, and it has been damaging my braid. It took me a long time to work out why I was getting random break-offs until I really thought about it. And I quit my laziness by having rigged rods on the roof, and always went to site with them unrigged. But that sort of takes away the convenience of these rod holders, because I believe where these rod holders come into their own is when you want to quickly zip up the beach another kilometre, you throw them on, clamp them down, and away you go. Now, I thought a little bit further into this as well, because really how much abrasion could really happen in that short trip. And I want you to think about this. Is there a possibility that when those bugs are dying, they're producing some form of acidic material that could be potentially getting into your line and weakening it? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below of your thoughts, because I almost thought that potentially that could be an issue. Now, number 4, random openings. Now, a lot of people love random openings, not me, especially not when it's these. So admittedly, a lot of people are going to throw the blame at me, and I'm ready for it, so certainly fire away. But several times when I haven't actually locked the rod rack down, they have actually opened mid-drive. Lucky enough, it hasn't been both at the same time, and it's generally the front one, which is the load-bearing one, because that's got the most amount of updraft pressure on it. But that has opened several times. Now, I thought, well, Brendan, that's your laziness for not locking it when you take off. But when you actually read about these, the locking mechanism is there to prevent theft. It actually says nothing in the instructions about locking the rod holder to prevent it from opening randomly on a highway. And when you think about it, the only thing that locking mechanism does is it stops that button from being pushed in. So I locked the rod holders, and I've actually had them opening by themselves whilst they've been locked. Admittedly only twice, but it has happened. And when you're carrying the amount of dollars on the roof that I'm carrying, that's simply not good enough. A lot of you are questioning, well, if it's happened that many times, why did you keep using the rod holders? Because they shouldn't open, and I wanted to carry out tests to work out why it was happening. Have I worked out why it's happening? No, but it does happen. Now, I have always, when I've clamped these rods down, I've made sure that the bulkiest part of the rods are not in the rod holders, so they're not completely stretched. I use very high quality graphite rods, which generally have a lot thinner blanks, so I'd expect that these rod holders or ski holders should be able to handle it. Excuse me. So by pushing them down, maintaining them, always keeping them well lubricated and so forth in the moving parts, not in the jaws, settle down, I would have thought that they would always have stayed closed. Now, I promised you number four was going to be good, but number 5 is even better, and this is super relevant to anglers. This particular day, I was very, very lucky I had no rods in my rod holders, because we experienced something that I had been told could happen, but I've never had happen in all the kilometres I've been driving. We're driving out east to a little town called Mora in Western Australia, out to go do some jobs for the day. It's just cracking dawn, so we've just got a little bit of light on the horizon, and out of nowhere, bang, comes a massive bird. Okay, this bird has hit the windscreen, has rolled up, and I've just heard the biggest crack I've ever heard on the roof. Thought nothing of it, continued to Mora because it was only another 30 kilometres. Once I'd got there, this is what I found. So we've just rocked up the site this morning and we hit a bird on the way up accidentally. Rack's open, but look at this. Broken this whole bracket here. So can you imagine what would have happened if your rods were in that on top of the car? You would have had a whole rack of smashed rods. How's that? So what had happened was the bird had hit the rod holder that hard, it had broken the latch and flipped it open, but also broke the mounting bracket. Now, imagine if your rods were in that. That's right. Imagine if there was high modulus graphite rods in that rod holder at that particular time. Every rod you would have had, completely destroyed. I mean, if you can destroy impact resistant plastic, like on these rod holders, because the mounting points are fairly bloody solid, then you will certainly smash to pieces your rods. And this is a really good reason as to why I say now, get these off my roof. Because I tell you what, I simply couldn't afford to have all my beautiful Assassins smashed to pieces on a roof. What's the alternative? You don't have the room in a dual cab ute like me, I get it. Put them in a solid PVC pipe on the roof, because that solid PVC pipe will not break and it will not damage your rods. Or, lucky enough, all the Assassin rods come in these fantastic bags and they're short enough that I can fit them across the driver's seat up into the back, or some of them even just across the back seat, and that'll keep them perfectly safe because those rods are safe in their package. And that's a lot of brands these days. The new Daiwa rods come with fantastic rod sleeves and so forth. A lot of them come in neoprene and whatnot, which is super impact resistant. So if you're going to travel with your rods, guys, I simply don't recommend these. They're coming off my roof. They are done. As I said, it's not them, it's me, but it really is them. And I just recommend putting your rods in something super strong, like proper rod holders on the roof where they're encapsulated, or simply leave them in their bags and put them in the car if you can. Guys, I hope this small little 5 reasons as to why is helpful to you. And don't let it deter you buying these if you've really got your heart set on them. Just take this as a word of warning and have a think about it a bit more in depth. Anyway, until the next episode, we'll catch you later.